When Tanya first asked about everybody to do some speaking, I, as a disgraceful little Toastmaster, I canceled last night because I did not have a speech prepared. So she asked if I had something I could talk about that would actually work as a off-the-cuff speech. Well, as many of you know, and many of you may not know, I have a business I work with clients to prepare for death and disability. I do comprehensive planning, working on financial, logistical, funeral, and everything a family has to do with if you pass away. So today I'm going to talk to you about preparing for your death, and it may make you a little uncomfortable. I'm going to talk a little bit about 5 things you can do right now legally to set yourself up. There's a majority of, I think it is 51% of the people over 50 years old have their wills done right now. That's not a good statistic. As the age ranges go younger, which most of us are, it gets even higher, the people that are not paying attention to this. So I'm going to give you 5 things, and then I'm going to tell you reasons why I think you ought to go and start getting a death plan prepared. First and foremost, we all know about a will. A will is a legal document that you set up and you put in place that tells your executor, your person that you have appointed, what to do with your assets, how your liabilities are going to be paid, and who your heirs are. Very simple. If you have children, you need to set up guardianship for your children. If something happens to you, who takes your children? Everybody remember Anna Nicole Smith when she passed away? Big case. There was a baby and no guardian appointed. And look at that baby sat in limbo for weeks while it went through the court system. You need a legal power of attorney. This is somebody, if you're driving down Mopac and you get in a bad accident, heaven forbid, and you become incapacitated. Let's say you go into a coma for 8 months. Who is going to make your legal decisions for you? Who's going to pay your bills? Who's going to pay your mortgage? Are you buying and selling property? Who's going to execute all of your banking? Who's going to take care of that while you're in the hospital? You need a legal power of attorney. Let's talk about a medical power of attorney. Number 3. Let's suppose you get a severe case of Alzheimer's, become incapacitated, go into a coma. You need to appoint somebody to make your medical decisions. If you have gangrene in your foot and they need to do an amputation, heaven forbid, you need to have somebody appointed that can give them the authority to act on your behalf, because you can't do it. The 4th thing you need is a living will. Does everybody know about Terri Schiavo? Everybody? There's probably a few that don't. She was a woman in Florida, and she went into a coma in 1990. And she went into a complete vegetative state. And her husband could not remove her life support because there was no living will in place stating that that's what she wanted to have happen. So she existed in that vegetative state for 15 years. So a living will, in Texas they call it an advance directive, will actually be your speaking voice if you come into that situation, and it gives you your voice. No, I don't want to be kept on life support. If you take me off life support, make me comfortable. And you get to make these decisions, but you have to make them ahead of time. So the last thing that has recently entered into the must-haves of estate and death planning is a HIPAA release form. HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Anyway, it's called HIPAA. What it does is it is supposed to regulate who gets information about your medical conditions. You need to sign a HIPAA release form now so that if you go into a coma or if you become incapacitated, your family can take action, can get medical records released and transferred to the right doctors. Those are 5 of the most important things you can do right now to make it easy on your family. As an optional little tidbit to throw in there, if you're going to do organ donation, find out everything you can about organ donation. It's a fabulous, fabulous setup. It's a fabulous service that is offered. Learn about it, sign up for it, and let your family know that you want to be an organ donor. So why do I do all of this? Because dying is very, very, very complicated, and it's getting more complicated every day. Logistically, financially, and emotionally, your family will be left devastated if you don't start making some plans and talking about this little subject that makes us all a little bit uncomfortable. Death is not on your schedule. Just in November, I had a friend of mine who wasn't feeling well, so he went to the doctor. And when he went to the doctor took some blood tests. 2 days later, he said, "You're on your way to MD Anderson. You've got an aggressive form of leukemia. We're going to pump you full of arsenic. You're going into a coma, and we're going to hope you're going to survive." He had 3 days to prepare. Luckily, right now, he is on 6 months of heavy rehabilitation. He's out of his coma. But he's 34 years old, folks. It happens at any time. Keith Ledger died today at 28 years old. One of the actors of Brokeback Mountain. So if I can encourage you, everybody, regardless of your age, do some planning, prepare, and communicate to your families. And that is what I want to urge you to do as soon as possible. Mr. Toastmaster, Miss Toastmaster.